My name is Lisa. This is where I sew. Autumn is here. I put my big scarf on because today there's a very cool wind blowing. Autumn is knocking at the door and she's not waiting for an invitation. It's breezy, it's blowy and it's cool. The kids have all gone back to school. The holidays are all finished. The suntan lotion's been put away. The factor 50 is a thing of the past. So I thought that I would bring you up to speed with what I've been doing with my summer. I haven't been able to film over the last 2-3 months because my daughter's been at home from school and the entire street has basically been a construction site, so the noise was outrageous. So in this summer, with the garden being available, I decided to do some experiments with indigo and a Japanese tie-dye method called Shibouri. I'll link the video that I did of my first experiment. It's not a tutorial because I'd never done it before, but I wanted to test drive the method using a book that I reviewed there as well. So go and take a look at that and it'll show you how kind of labour intensive it is and how much of a mess you can create. I'm sure if you're more of an expert it won't be so bad, but for a first time out it got fairly messy. I did another batch of it later in the summer, so I've done it twice, but it does take a lot of time and a lot of space and you need to be left in, you need just to work your way through the process. The other thing I did was I used Dylon fabric dye, which was much more straightforward, just 1 or 2 buckets of cold water, and I wanted to compare and contrast for you the outcomes in the colour. I also used a different tie-dye technique on this as well. This one is quite time consuming as well. This is the finished effect, sort of this. I don't know how to describe it, but I love it. I think it's beautiful. Reminds me of like x-rays. Anyway, to this end you pleat the fabric. You create basically a pleat like this. And then you sew through the layers of the fabric. Lots of tiny running stitches. But when I came to the top of what I was trying to create, which was a flower, it didn't take as well. You can see that the effect is much fainter because I hadn't pulled the stitches tight enough, which was a shame. I mean, I'm still going to use this piece for something, but the whole thing would have looked fabulous. As it is, I've only kind of got a half of it done. I used the cold dye, the Dylon dye with this, and it's kind of come out. This was described as a jeans dye, so I thought, oh, that's indigo. But it really hasn't created the same vibrancy as this. So this was the second batch of indigo that I did. And I don't know if you agree, but I feel that it's... So this is like an ombre. So this is the very deepest. This is sort of the mid-tone. And here's the lightest tone. I think this is far more lively. It feels much more... I don't know. It's really... It pops. To quote the beauty gurus, it pops. I think it's really pretty. This seems much duller, much more flat by effect, not as intense. So I shan't be using that again, but I thought the resist was lovely on it. And I also tried a honeycomb method that I found online, a really lovely, very simple tutorial. It's a bit finicky, and I create this lovely honeycomb effect. I think it's gorgeous. That's on white cotton. All of those pieces were white cotton. The first batch of Shibouri of indigo that I did was on calico, just simple calico, but you can see that that's yellow. That's kind of a yellowy creamy, and I think it did impact the outcome, the vibrancy of the colour. I think it muted it a bit. So I made, this was my first attempt. I'm so pleased. I think it's so gorgeous. But that's just calico with a different, you get a tube, you wrap the fabric around it, and then you tie, I used sort of hairy twine, sort of wrap hairy twine around it, then ruche it all down, bung it into the dye, take her out, rinse her, and you get this. I love it. So that's on calico. So again, I think it muted it. So to that end, because the weather is setting and I might get a full date, you know, you just never know, the weather is just not that predictable. So rather than using that indigo dye again, I found this. This is a Dylon that you can stick in the washing machine at a 30 degrees, 40 degree cycle, easy peasy. But it's a lighter blue, it's more like a going towards a purpley blue, violet. I'm not that clever about undertones and stuff like that, but hopefully it's not going to be as matte as this chap was. So I've got plans for this one. My husband has asked me to dye some curtains for his new study office, which is really way too large a term for a refurbished box room. But anyway, he is interested in some curtains using this honeycomb effect, but he doesn't want indigo, he wants grey. So I've got these chaps. So what I want to do is a video vlogging the process to get the so I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what the outcome is going to be of these. I really hope that they're just not this sad, horrible, washed out, you know, like if you left a pair of black socks in a whitewash, dreary. So we shall see. But the curtains that we bought, they're just like 20 quid, mid-length ones. So to achieve that honeycomb, you basically need a rope, and you just wind it, take your length of rope, wind the fabric down it, bend it in half, stick her in the washing machine, and hopefully got a fabulous new pair of curtains out of it. But wait and see, I'll update you. The other thing to say is that this might be a good time if you're going to do, if you like to make handmade presents for folk for Christmas, start now if you want to use this technique, because the beauty, the real beauty about Shibouri is that every piece is the unknown. As you unwrap it or unpick all the stitches out of it, you genuinely don't know what you're going to get. So be prepared to make some mistakes, just make some experimentations, see what comes out. And then you've got an absolute one-off. The book that I reviewed, which I've mentioned, also does a number of little projects if you're a sewer. And yeah, that's my Shibouri journey thus far this summer 2019. So have a go at them all. Come back and see what happens with these guys. Hopefully it's not a disaster. And go and watch my other videos. Subscribe, like, hit the notifications. Leave me a review, leave me a comment. Let me know if you've tried any of this or if you know any different techniques. Because the more I look and the more I see, there seems to be thousands and thousands of different things that you can do in Shibouri and create more and more fabulous effects. So enjoy, have fun, let me know how you get on. Come back and see me again. Bye for now.